If you were Satan and wanted to destroy America, how would you do it? ChatGPT responded, I would undermine the family structure by breaking down traditional family values and norms by promoting confusion around gender roles, sexual ethics, and parental authority. I would sow division and hatred by amplifying divisions across political, racial, and ideological lines, and by using the media and social media platforms to escalate polarization. I would corrupt the education system by diluting and distorting history, values, and truth itself. I would attack faith and religion through weakening the role of churches and encouraging apathy and hostility toward religious belief. I'd promote materialism and self-interest, making people prioritize their wealth and status over community and service to the people around them. I would encourage moral decay by normalizing behaviors traditionally seen as vices to blur the lines between right and wrong. I would undermine the government and institutions through eroding trust in law enforcement, the judicial system, and democracy itself, fostering corruption within the government, making leaders self-serving and out of touch with the American people. And maybe most importantly, I would attack the sanctity of life, particularly through abortion and euthanasia, to shift societal attitudes to see life as less valuable.
Not gonna lie, it feels like a lot of those things are already happening.
I'm not ashamed of my 3 kids, and if I wouldn't have the 3 baby daddies, I wouldn't have my 3 amazing kids. But for me, you have to accept me as a whole with a 4 unit. So it's either, are you even equipped to hold down this fort?
Yes, I am, but the real question there is, why would I be willing to do it? None of the men before me did, including your 3 baby daddies. And yes, you can absolutely have 3 amazing kids if it's just 1 man involved. You don't really need 3 for that. Sometimes men do get involved with single mothers when they're a widower, where they've been in a marriage and that didn't work. Maybe he cheated on you, you got divorced, and now you're a single mother of 3. But that's not you, is it?
HIV positive on my profiles. People don't want to touch you. I remember being on a date with someone, so I brought him back to my place. It was like, okay, like, I need to tell you something, like, I'm HIV positive. And I remember he like looked at me. It was like I murdered him. I was like, I thought he was gonna beat the shit out of me. He was like, I can't believe you wouldn't tell me, and like, you gave me HIV, and like was just losing his mind. And I'm like, no, that's not possible. Even if I bled on you, like in an open wound, like that wouldn't happen. I'm undetectable. And like, you know, but he just like didn't want to hear it. Now, like, the way the law goes, like being undetectable, like I really don't have to like disclose my status. And you think about it, like anyone that you meet on your first date or if like you're hooking up, like, are you like, I have diabetes, I have high blood pressure. You're not telling them any of this shit. Where HIV is now, like if you are undetectable, like you don't necessarily like have to disclose that. I don't think you're putting anyone at any risk that you have to like necessarily go through that. But it's because of the stigma and shame that I feel like I have to disclose. People would look at that as betrayal.
That's because it is, no matter how you look at it. And no, you can never compare HIV with diabetes or high blood pressure.
We're trying to send conservatives to re-education camps to be more accepting.
Yeah.
You want to sign that?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. So you would support taking their rights away and sending them to the camps forcefully?
100%.
Yeah, because they're trying to do that to us, so like...
Would you be in support of banning conservatives from voting?
I feel like everyone has a right to vote.
Oh, you're taking their rights away to a re-education camp.
That is true.
Yeah.
So yesterday I got ran through by 101 guys.
For any young girl that's watching this video, I just need you to know from me that this is not cool, okay? This is not interesting, this is not it girl, this is honestly pathetic. And to any boy that's watching this that thinks, oh yeah, sick, get me in there, or thinks that this is what women will do and will provide this for you, I honestly can't believe that this... I don't even know if this should be on TikTok, do you know what I mean? I miss the dances. And I'm all for, like, live your life, like, no judgment, whatever. But this is just crazy, and it sends such a bad message. And it's probably all for attention, and it's a shock factor. But I just need people to know, especially young people, that this is wild and weird and not cool in the slightest. And embarrassing, and I feel bad for her parents,
We all do, but in her defense, she was going for 101, so maybe she wanted to be Cruella and get herself. I'm not even gonna go there. And you are right, absolutely. But unfortunately for one of you, there are hundreds of other women celebrating it, telling her, you go queen, that's empowering. And I believe we just got back to the first video. This is how you destroy not just America, but every society.
And it's so funny because they'll be like, we're biologically stronger. We're stronger than women. And then like one bad thing happens in their lives, like God forbid their parents get divorced when they're 12, or like someone cheats on them and they're like, I'm actually never gonna recover. Actually, that's my whole personality now. And actually I'm gonna be mean to everyone in my life because of what Rebecca did when we were 17. And I'm like, yes, you're so strong. You strong man.
I decided to freeze my eggs, and today I started the process. I've always wanted to freeze my eggs since I was probably like 12 or 13 years old, and I learned about the concept of egg freezing because it just made so much sense to me. The fact that I'm finally like doing it now at 28, I feel like it's the perfect time. It's the perfect time. I never wanted to feel any kind of pressure to settle down and get married and have kids by a certain timeline. That did not work with me because there's other things that I want to do. There's other things that I want to prioritize. And there is not one hair in my body right now that makes me want to have a kid. But I want to be able to provide myself with the option to do so in case I do at some point. Yeah, today I had my first consultation. I really liked the doctor. It was all done through a video call, so it was very introductory. She asked me a couple of questions about my health history, and then she showed me this PowerPoint slide about what egg freezing is and also gave me some insight into what the process looks like. Seems that the process overall can take like 2 weeks, which I think is fabulous, beautiful, because I want to get that done ASAP.
Well, good for you. The part she forgot to mention is that's not really a cheap procedure. It will cost somewhere in between $10,000 to $12,000 according to the first search, and the success rate is lower than 40%, 38%.
Your number, the number of people that you've slept with.
I have just a quick question before we dive into this. Do guys really care about a girl's number?
Yeah.
I'm not going to pin it on you, but I'm saying in general, from your friends, from what you heard, what is like a number that people usually...
Oh, I don't know. I think it's different for everybody. But
Okay.
Do they care? I think most people do. I think a lot of people pretend like they don't.
Right.
And I don't think that it necessarily matters, but I do think a lot of people
I think it depends on the
so.
box theory of where you put that girl in your brain. Like if you see her as, this is just my hypothesis on it. If you see her as wife, girlfriend material, you'd hope her number would be lower. Whereas if you just see her as a one-night stand, you don't really care what the number is. Perhaps.
I think that's generally true, yeah.
Generally true. Listen, if a guy asks you that, he is not the guy. He is an insecure dude with his own problems.
You guys got asked that on your first date a lot?
I haven't. She has. First of all, women, if you're ever thinking about your number and you're embarrassed about it, please don't. Who cares? If he's judging you on your number, goodbye, sayonara, he's not your man.
I'm pretty sure you already decided that before you did. This is really not how it works. Oh, you don't want me? Well, I don't want you either. We're not 8 anymore. We're grown. At least some of us are. I should never care about Cruella's from earlier past. She went through 101 men in one night and I should be fine with that? Come on now.
Why do men avoid women with high body counts when it comes to marriage? It's not just about the past. It's about the future. When a man asks about your past relationships, he's thinking long-term about trust, emotional depth, and comparison. The more partners someone has had, the harder it can be to truly bond with just one person. It's not about judgment. It's about the emotional baggage that can come with multiple relationships. So before you dismiss this as insecurity, understand that for many men, it's about building something real and lasting, free from past shadows. And if you're serious about love, maybe it's time to start thinking about how your past shapes your future.